Judgment time.
Welcome to Everything Comes Back to 2000AD, and today I'm joined by Mr. Stephen Ross.
Mr. Rossy, what you want? Oh, a tree of ice cream cones, a cocoa castle full of home, custard cakes, coffee breaks, holiday, we're on the stage.
Ripa, hombre, viva la France! Everything's lovely in sunny downtown LA.
California. Rossy's not here this morning. We couldn't record yesterday because of me. And the reason we couldn't record yesterday was Marnie's birthday. So I didn't want to record on her birthday. It would have been bad. And Mr. John Burtis.
Hello to all you rockers out there in the sunny world of entertainment. And it's a dull, overcast time in Maidstone as I sit here and peel a lovely little orange thing that I got from the market, which I've never seen before. All these weird ridges on it. Oh, Mrs. For her pleasure.
What's the name of the fruit?
Well, some sort of orange.
You missed your moment. When I said, what's the name of the fruit? You should have said it's Mr. Ross.
Oh, damn. Well, I'm trying to get as little amount of juice on my fingers as possible, but it ain't working. Oh, dear.
What have you been up to?
Well, just working and sleeping. Just waiting for the weekend of fun. When so we went to the castle this weekend for our Sunday dinner with Granny. I've got to say it was fucking awesome. The staff were brilliant. Obviously, because they do weddings and stuff like that. The fucking food, as soon as you put the order in, the food was basically coming out within 5 minutes. There was no wait. Fucking delicious it was, plentiful, cheap as fuck. For the four of us, for 4 main meals. And with those 4 meals, you got between you 2 big fucking plates of fucking like carrots and potatoes and shit like that. I also ordered 4 special sides. So it was like pigs in blankets with a honey sort of glaze and stuff. They were fucking delicious. And then 3 other things, which I can't remember off the top of my head. We had puddings as well, all 4 of us. We had drinks and a bottle of wine. And that only came to 173 quid.
Wow, that's not bad for 4 people.
I know, I was fucking shocked when it came out because I withdrew 400 quid to cover it. And when the bill came, I'm like, fucking hell. And definitely going to go again. Definitely do the Christmas. Well, this wasn't Christmas meal. This was like a Sunday dinner. Definitely going to do the similar thing for next year and just sort of start a pre-Christmas build-up, you know what I mean? But definitely going to do another meal in the year a couple of times. But we went in. We went to the West Wing, so we sort of went in. The massive hall is on the left. There's one tiny room with a big long table for like 8 or 10 people on, which we saw people on it when we came in. About another 3 other rooms of different sizes, and then our room had 5 tables in, 3 big ones where it gets 6 people on, and 2 little tables with like 2 to 4 people. It was fucking lovely. There's people in there when we came in. We were sat down. Another group of people came in, and I heard the woman come in. She went, "Oh, it's quiet in here," and I laughed and I said, "Well, it won't be for too long with our son." And she laughed. Then she wanted to close the curtain a bit for her husband. The sun was in his eyes because it was so bright, even though like it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We had the meal, so the sun was really shining in from the south. And then we all laughed, said, "Oh, we'll be going to bed soon then." And she was like, "Right, everybody to the whole room. Everybody get ready up the stairs," all that sort of stuff. So we knew it was going to be a laugh in the room. And then when I took Sam to the toilet, I said, "Oh, I told you, didn't I, when you came in, you said, be quiet, it wasn't going to be." She said, "Oh, it's lovely. We're really enjoying it." So that was really nice. And then people were saying goodbye to everybody when they were leaving the room, when they'd finished the meal, which just showed you it was a nice sort of feeling in that little tiny, the West Wing. Staff are brilliant. They all had like tabards on with a sort of like a designer cross on, a historical cross. The women were dressed accordingly. We wandered about. Me and Sam wandered about. Went outside. There was people sat outside with their coats on. I was sort of laughing my head off, going, "We should have sat out here." But took some fantastic pictures. The little train, we saw that in the distance with the steam coming out of it, which we'd been on when Sam was small. It's called the Romney Hyde and Dymchurch train. They do a Santa special all the way from, like, I think it's middle of November to Christmas sort of thing. It's a sort of very small train. It was used in World War II as well, to munitions and stuff like that, and the home guard and things. I think that train has actually been on Dad's army. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. We went to a pub earlier on to get a drink because we wanted to make sure we were there in time. And that was a nice little pub, and we thought we'll have a meal there because we could see them getting their Sunday dinners brought out to them. So, and when we came in, the staff there were fantastic as well. It's just like, you go to some place and you think, what, straight away you think, yeah, this has got a nice cozy feel to it. People are very kind and all that sort of stuff. Brilliant. The probably the worst bit about the castle is, and we knew this when we went there the time before, and they told us, is the parking. You basically have this battle to park. So we drove down this road. It's fucking narrow as fuck. You'd fucking love it. Anyway, we couldn't find a space, so we thought, right, we'll just keep driving down this bit to go back onto the main road to come in again. Because I'm thinking, right, I could drop Granny and everybody off now, but how long will it take me to get back? That sort of thing. Driving down, there was cars coming the other way, but there's a car in front of us, so it was a battle. So the other lot had to reverse back. Oh, and there was a car in front. It was freaking hilarious. Anyway, we eventually got out after 10 minutes of driving down this tiny little road, this country lane. Went back the route we came in, and fucking luckily somebody pulled out of the space on the left-hand side, and I just fucking shot in. I thought, my God, you couldn't get any closer to the main entrance. Just pure luck. But yeah, definitely going to go there. And you can stay there as well. They've got accommodation, and they're building more accommodation or altering certain rooms at another part of the castle. But yeah, we kept saying, me and Carolyn were going, oh, fucking hell, Marnie would love this. She would, having a proper English Sunday dinner in a fucking castle, everything you're touching, the walls and all that is fucking hundreds and hundreds. I think it's about 1,000 years old. The view is fucking beautiful right over the channel, you know what I mean? And it drops down so fast from the castle to the flats of the Romney marshes and everything. And at certain times, with the wind catches, you can hear the wild animals because they've got a fucking wild animal park nearby, so you can hear not gorillas, they're not going to be that loud. Tigers, lions, giraffes, elephants, all that sort of shit. So
monkey hangers.
Yes. And we just kept saying, fucking hell, you come across here, definitely going to take you here, so you'll enjoy this. But yeah, fucking loved it. Took Granny.
That's never gonna happen. The minute we get off the plane, they'll arrest me for all the memes I post.
Oh yeah. Well,
good times.
They'll be that lot will be out of power by then. They won't be lasting. I doubt Labour are going to survive the next election, and they will try to last as long as they can. So they will take it.
Doesn't seem as if he's doing a good job.
Well, when you basically lie, and then they deny lie, and you just think, well, you do know, we all fucking saw you say you're not going to raise taxes and all that, and then you get found out that what you've done this time was built on a lie as well, and you knew it. You just think, well, but this is what the people want to do, vote them in. So I just think, isn't it strange how they're all quiet? I quite enjoyed all the Tory bashing because I was part of that because they're insane. But I'm laughing at the absolute quiet. You know, I think, well, hang on, why aren't you all screaming about this? This isn't what you voted for. Well, what can you say?
Well, I know that the Italian Prime Minister Meloni,
Oh yeah.
she said something about Starmer over the weekend about how he needs to mind his own business and run his own country because he was trying to get credit for the whole Gaza thing, the peace process, and she said that she said that you did nothing. So,
and the thing is, gone are the days when we were all fucking serfs, didn't have any fucking intelligence, just got up, did the work, the bidding of the bosses, and got on with fucking having our half a Sunday off. Those days are long gone. Most people have got a bit of common sense and they can see these things. Whether they want to go down the rabbit hole like Mr. Ross and all that and have a good time, which is always good for a laugh, or they just want to just go, well, I saw you on the news say that, and now you're denying you said it.
They can't get away with it anymore because of smartphones and the media and the internet. They can't get away with it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday it was Marnie's birthday, so we went to the one of our favorite places. She went there last year on her birthday as well, the Boyce Thompson Arboretum. I think it's called ARBR. Yeah,
it's Arboretum.
Yeah, and we saw creatures there that we didn't see before. We saw some white-nosed Coatis, they're called. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. The Coatis. And they're part of the raccoon family. And we'd never seen the likes of them before. Marnie, when they first appeared, Marnie thought they were monkeys. But you looked up close, that you could tell that they were kind of related to the raccoon family.
Yeah.
But there must have been like 10 or 12 of them crossing our path over to the other side of where there was a clearing, and they start digging, looking for bugs and berries and stuff. And human beings didn't faze them at all. They just walked in front of you and walked over. Because they're so used to people in the park. But we've been to that park multiple times, and that's the first time we've ever seen them.
Yeah, I had to look at where it was, and it's right on the east outskirts of the city, isn't it? Where basically we went to, or a bit further, I think, to the Gold Town, ghostly Gold Town.
Yeah, you remember the Renaissance is on the way there. Remember we brought you and Sam to the Renaissance Fair. That's on its way. It's probably a good 40 minutes away from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really nice place. It was one of the places that if you and Kaz come over next time, we'll probably end up bringing you there.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been one of the places we suggested on the list, but you had so much to do. There's no way you could fit it all in.
Well, yeah.
Well, you'd be surprised of all the different types of cactus and everything else they have there, the plants, and they have some beautiful scenic views. And there's a house that was carved into the side of the mountain, a little small house where the Clevenger family used to live there. And there's a family of 5. And you look at it, you think, how the hell do they fit 5 people in that house?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's probably like Rossy's condo in half. If you use Rossy's closet, actually, expanded Rossy's closet to twice the size, and 5 people live there.
It's like when you see like sort of documentaries or little YouTube things about the birthplace of Elvis and where he lived, and it's a historical building now, so you can visit it and all that, and it's just fucking tiny, and you just think, I think it was 2 rooms. And it's just like a fucking shed, and you just think, people whinge nowadays, but this is what people fucking had in the old days, and they just fucking got on with it. And I know people.
You're not wrong, and it's even more recent than that. Like growing up in Dublin in Kilbarrack in the 70s, Corporation House, right? There was 5 of us, 5 plus my mom and dad, so 7 people living in that house. And I come over to the US, and I've been over here for a good while. I hadn't been back in Ireland for a while. I think 3 or 4 years. I go back to visit, and everything feels so fucking tiny. And I said, I can't believe there were 7 of us in this house at one stage.
Yeah,
it's so tiny.
Well, when we lived in Hartlepool, the first house we were in was Kimbrace Road, and we had just 2 bedrooms. So me and Gordon were on the bunk beds, and Dawn and Helen were on the 2 beds to the right of us, and that was the room. We didn't get
Yeah.
we didn't get another house on another estate until I was just in first year juniors. So, but yeah, you just fucking accepted it.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it's hard now. You see, you've been to my place
Yeah.
here, so when we downsize, it's going to be really tough
Yeah.
because we're getting so used to the space.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you get used to it. So it's like, oh, I'm kind of dreading when we do eventually be a couple of years maybe.
Yeah.
We'll end up moving and downsizing to our last and final destination. That'll be it. Talking about final destination, do you have any debts?
I have. I've got two. Oh, fucking hell, this orange. First one on the list of deaths. Big name over here. And obviously, well, not obviously, and he might be well known in America due to things he's done. Sir Tom Stoppard, aged 88, a Czech-born English playwright and screenwriter. Let's have a look. He's being critically
Did he become a US? Did he become a UK citizen, or was he born in the Czech Republic and then?
Let's have a look. Oh, his fucking first name, Thomas Straussler, July 1937. I'm sure if I read all this, it will say where he decided to change his nationality. Let's have a look here. Spouses: Miriam Stern till 72. Oh, sorry, Josie Ingle, Miriam Stern, Sabrina Guinness. Oh, I wonder if that's part of the Guinness family. And then he's got and then he had a current partner. What the fuck's all that mean? I don't know. Anyway, so he did loads of prominent plays: Anna Karenina, Enigma, Shakespeare in Love, Billy Bathgate, Empire of the Sun, Brazil, rock, that sort of stuff. And then he was involved in loads of films. Where the fuck is the films? Oh, God's sakes. It's a fucking nightmare. I'm sure Shakespeare in Love was one of them. I think that's the one that seemed to pop up constantly. Fuck me, this page. Here we go. Theatre. Fuck me. Tons of theatre. Radio stuff. Television plays. Oh, it's just fucking vanished.
Well, you said in Brazil. Is that the movie Brazil?
I am presume, but not the movie, the play. Right, here we are. So film screenplay: Tulip Fever, Anna Karenina, The Golden Compass, Star Wars. Oh, right, here we go. Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. He did a dialogue polish of George Lucas' screenplay,
and it was still a turd.
Yeah, Shakespeare in Love, co-authored with Mark Norman, script won an Academy Award. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, he did a final rewrite of that. Empire of the Sun, first draft. Oh yeah, Brazil, co-authored with Terry Gilliam and Charles McKeown, nominated for Academy Award. Three Men in a Boat. So he's done that. Say some television plays, original works for radio, fucking tons of fucking theatre stuff. So yeah, he has left this mortal coil. So, and that sort of was a big thing over here when on the news. You know, normally we just get fucking a little tiny bit at the end. Oh, just to let you know, such and such died, but he got quite a bit. So that was
well, he's done. He did a lot.
Oh fuck me, yeah. So it says here, born in Czechoslovakia. Here we go. Stoppard left as a Jewish child refugee. Boo! Hey, come on, let's talk Jewish. Fleeing imminent Nazi occupation, he settled with his family in England after the war in 1946, having spent 3 previous years at a boarding school in Darjeeling in the Indian Himalayas. After being educated at schools in Nottingham and Yorkshire, Stoppard became a journalist, a drama critic, and then 1960 a playwright. So there you have it. So we all have to hate him because he's Jewish. Right. Next one. It's not really an important one, but it's quite interesting that he's chosen the way he wanted to. Ludwig Amadeus Minelli, aged 92, is a Swiss lawyer, founder of Dignitas, and he died by assisted suicide. So I presume he, as I'm scrolling down now, he decided to die at Dignitas.
The company he created.
Yeah, it says Minnelli died by assisted suicide. In the previous year, he affirmed his willingness to die by assisted suicide and said that he had planned to hold a celebration at which his close friends and family, including his children and grandchildren, would be present when he died. So I think that's it. He did.
Well,
he became a millionaire.
he had two interesting first names that were really hard to live up to.
That's true, yeah.
It reminds me of when I first came to Arizona and my first time in Costco, and there's a guy at the door that checks your membership card, and he had Jesus, Mexican guy. He had Jesus on his name tag, yeah. And I said to him, well, Jesus, but Jesus. And I said to him, man, your mother must hate you because you got a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
Good old Jesus.
That's it. Ah, dear.
Well, you know what else? You did miss a death, though.
Go on, then.
The Death of the Rebellion Definitive Editions.
Oh, fuck me. I've seen that, yeah.
You see it? Yeah, we'll tell what the listeners is. So Rebellion do these, they're doing these definitive editions, which are oversized. I can't remember how many inches by how many inches, but probably a little bit smaller than 11 by 17, a good bit smaller. And they're supposed to be the definitive editions, like the highly polished, like this is it. This is the ultimate you can get of all these stories like Slain and Nemesis and reprints. And Nemesis, they just keep fucking it up. In one of the editions, they split a center page, a center spread into two parts. I'm like, why the hell why didn't somebody catch that? What the hell is going on? And then Steve Green, who's a huge fan, 2000AD fan, had the latest definitive edition, and he saw that they weren't even taking the scans. The scans that they were printing from weren't good enough because they were faded compared to the Titan book prints from yonks ago, like decades ago. So, and if you compare both images, you can see that one is completely, the line work is ruined. And I'm like, this is supposed to be the definitive edition. This is what you're supposed to spend your hard-earned cash on, and they can't even get it right. It's like, who's in charge of these? It was even the same problem with the Slain one with Bellardinelli's artwork. If you got an old Prog and scanned it, you get better definition than what they were using, because a lot of detail was completely lost. I'm flabbergasted that there's no quality control on these things, and yet Rebellion keep on pushing them as the definitive. I wouldn't buy them. I like, after the debacle of the Nemesis one where they split the center spread, I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I'm not buying this, because they don't give a shit. They're just churning the shit out, and they don't care.
Well, we know they don't give a shit about the fans. It's just for them, for certain members, it's just a case of they're just desperate for that one big hit so they can fucking just make a fortune. But in the meantime, they'll just fucking fleece the fans. The attitude fucking stinks. Not by everybody. There's some fucking amazing people.
Oh yeah, there's some amazing people that work at Rebellion, but Jesus Christ, how could you release that?
Yeah.
It reminds me of remember years ago they printed the hardcovers collecting the ABC Warriors.
Oh yeah.
One of the pages of that they it looked like they didn't check it or double check it, because one of the pages looked like, you know, when you get a photograph and you zoom in and it becomes pixelated.
Yeah.
One of the pages was exactly like that. It was pixelated. It's like they didn't scan it properly or didn't check the scan. Yeah. And I'm like, well, it's maybe a once-off kind of thing, because it's, you know, I'm like, no, it's just a constant pattern with these guys. I feel bad for anybody who keeps on buying those.
Well, they expect them, you know what I mean? I have to laugh when I see people saying stuff like, oh, this will be my 5th time I'm buying this. I'm like, what the fuck are you buying it for? What are you buying it for? When I bought my definitive Slain, where Pat Mills and basically we're at Forbidden Planet. That was good 10 years plus, I think, ago. The Southern Contingent, or we all met up. It was fucking brilliant. Good laugh. That to me, that's it. I don't need to buy any more. It's signed by both of them. It's the definitive at the time, unless they've found a hidden 20 fucking pages that they forgot about. Well, there is nothing better than that. So when people buy the next edition and the next edition, no, I know there's new people into the come into the comic and want to buy stuff. Fair, I have no problem with that. But when people say, "Oh, I'm going to buy this one as well," why? Where are you going to put that? Have you got a bookshelf next to you, like I have now, but you've got all of Slain, the fucking Horn God, on one fucking level? You know, 5 versions of it, followed by fucking
20 editions.
Yeah, pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. You know what I mean? And I'd like for these people to actually, you know, when they say, "Oh, I'm going to get that," I'd like to see a picture of them holding it at their house, because I don't believe half these fuckers who say they've got it. You know what I mean? Because it's just all saying I've got it because they want to say I've got it within the fandom. Don't fucking lie, because I've caught some of it before. It just makes
it's like that time. It's like that time when Liam Sharp had these posters and everybody said, "Oh yeah, we'll buy them," and then nobody bought them.
Yes, it was a fantastic Mega City Wall one with Dredd, Anderson, I think Death was in it, and also a flesh cover. And fucking in the forum, yeah, oh, if he does these, yeah, blah, blah. Then he came in, he went, "Yeah, I'm going to do so many of this, so many of the flesh." With me and Pete Wells picked ours up from London, the Dredd ones. And he told us, he said, I printed out them flesh ones and nobody wanted them. And we were like, "Well, hang on a second." Loads of people on the forum said they would buy them. Yeah. In my head, I'm thinking, yeah, they'll buy them until they hear the price is like 20 or 30 quid or whatever it is. But you're paying for his fucking skill level, the quality of the paper, the quality of the print that he's done, all that. And then you don't fucking follow up. You fucking, I don't know what even term you would call it. You know what I mean? Fucking leading people on. You know, at the end of the day, he's probably lost, in relative terms, a decent amount of money over that fucking doing that for the fans who then fucking let him down. And I'm sure that happens all over the place with people saying they'll do stuff and then people just sort of just slink back into the woodwork, and you just think, yeah, you fucking lying bastards. Anything to sort of like say, look at me, I'll buy it. Well, you obviously didn't.
You get that all the time.
Yeah, it's like the books, isn't it? You know, I mean, they brought out that latest book, the Anderson book, and there's been nothing since. Now, I knew that book was ready fucking years ago, because the person who wrote it, or one of the people, female writers, who said, oh, they knew of that story where it was set in Anderson's head when she was fucking boinged up with fucking death in it. So I knew, and I'd mentioned that in the podcast, so we knew about that book, and it took this long to come out. I think it was earlier this year. But yet there's nothing since. Now, the thing is, people like the characters in different sort of realms. So people will only buy the prog to read Dredd in the prog world in cartoon form, and they'll never read a novel. So I have no problem with that. Other people will buy the two and go, I'll have the novel, because for me, with the novel is everything is visualized already in your head, the whole world of Dredd. So the only thing that might be different is the new evil sort of thing. And that
a couple of things that might be different, because it doesn't count because it's not Wagner.
Oh, well, I forgot. Yes. But yeah, it's them sort of things that just sort of make me laugh at certain characters when they say they'll do this, and we know they're fucking ain't.
Yeah, but the definitive editions was a big bummer. You know, it's like a good few years ago, they released Meltdown Man, like in the case, remember in the case files format.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And the print on it was actually pretty good, but the best edition of that was actually the glossy editions they released. What was like the best of 2000AD? There was like glossy extreme editions. Remember the extreme editions? That they reprinted Meltdown Man and that in two parts, and that was probably the best reprint of that story. Like even the case files version they brought out wasn't as good. I think it might have been the paper quality or whatever. It wasn't as good as that extreme edition.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad I grabbed a hold of that when it came out, because Meltdown Man's one of my favorite 2000AD strips.
Ah.
So Basically, Planet of the Apes and Commandy rolled into one. Meltdown Man. And he didn't melt.
Weirdly.
Well, we can do Adventures in Trumpland. Well, Trump has been on a roll today. He's reposted tons of stuff. One of the things that caught my eye was that with Venezuela, apparently, one of the reasons he's going in hard on Maduro is because Maduro might have been part of the 2020 rigged election. The whole point, remember all the machines and everything else and where it was going, and then it was in his post. He reposted from somebody else about Elon, that Elon is the one that managed to catch one of the servers in Serbia that was linked into the US election and just managed to cut it all off before election day. And that was one of the big things that helped Trump win the election. And then, of course, it all boils down to the big bad guy, which is George Soros. It all came from Soros money to tamper in the 2020 election. And Trump posted that today. So I'm like, that could be the reason why one of the reasons why he's going hard in on Maduro, because he had a phone conversation with Maduro. Maduro wanted to be able to, if he stepped down, that he wouldn't be tried for war crimes anywhere around the world. And Trump said no. And it was straight after our conversation that Trump posted that, about the airspace around Venezuela, to just be careful. And that's when all the flights stopped. So nothing happens that's coincidental. Everything in politics is nothing's ever coincidental. And it's the same with one of this. They're trying to make a scandal out of this, where they blew up a drug boat, and allegedly there were survivors, and Hegseth went in and said, take them all out.
Yeah.
And apparently that's not supposed to be legal or whatever. But the problem with that is that you can see that they're trying to do a color revolution against Trump now, like the CIA and all these that are doing in other countries, because you had the seditious six ex-military people that came out, or CIA and military people that came out and said, "Oh, don't follow unlawful orders." Well, duh, that's a given. But they said it to undermine the morale of the troops. They said it to think, why didn't they say it under Biden?
That's right.
So this is what they did. And so then that became a thing. And then you had the New York Times story that broke the other day saying that, according to sources, and they never named the sources, close to the area, that there were supposed to be two, blah, 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 that like they fired, there were two survivors and they killed them as well. And Hegseth said, yeah, no survivors and that's illegal. Blah, blah. It's all bullshit. It's all complete bullshit. But you can see how they're trying to wind things around or work things around Trump and try and undermine his presidency. It's unbelievable. Because if you look at his track record, everything he always a dictator. Well, if he's a dictator or a king, why is he obeying the courts? Every time he goes to court and he loses the case, he refiles it and he goes through the court system and he obeys what the courts say. And even the Supreme Court, he goes by what they say. So if he was a dictator or a king, why is he obeying their orders?
True.
Why is he obeying what they're saying you can do and can't do? It's unbelievable. But that's the latest scandal in Trump land anyways. But the thing about the machines, the Smartmatic and Dominion machines, is very, very interesting, because the Dominion machines were bought. They were in trouble financially, and so one guy millionaire guy went in and bought the Dominion machines, the voting machines. So it's like they only popped up for the 2020 election, and some other. I know that the CIA used these machines around the world to change elections. So it does. It does surprise. Look at Honduras. Honduras, they start counting the votes and then they stopped at midnight because the guy that they didn't want to win was winning. The one that Trump wants to win was winning, so they stopped the count at midnight. It's so obvious they're trying to rig things or just. Unbelievable. But
Yeah, but they're not in charge of all the news highways anymore, are they? That's the thing. They can't suppress stuff like anymore, which is good.
which, you got to give Elon Musk a lot of credit. If it wasn't for Elon Musk, there'd be no freedom of speech. It'll be gone. I mean, the news we get would be imaginary. Like, well, it's not that it's not imaginary, anyways, but it'll be all one-sided. You wouldn't see anything. It'll all be from the higher ups' point of view, and us little plebs have to put up with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting that you posted that about Maduro. So we'll keep your eye on that one. That's going to be an interesting one. Oh, and here's another thing about the news that I thought was really funny. How I don't know if it's intentional, but there was an article that the Ukrainians sank 2 Russian tankers, oil tankers, right? And the way the article was written, I think the New York Times wrote it, and the way the article was written was as if, oh yeah, Ukraine's winning the war. But what they didn't mention was who owned the tankers, and how many tankers are going back and forth with Russian oil, right? So now it's 2 tankers, but if the Russians only had 10 tankers going back and forth and 2 of them were destroyed, that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Now they had 20 tankers and 2 of them were destroyed. That's a big deal too. But you know how many tankers the Russians have going back and forth collecting oil and bringing oil everywhere?
Thousands.
Yep, they have over 1,000. So when you read the story from that perspective, it's like that's nothing. You destroyed 2 tankers. Guess how much each tanker is worth? I mean, with the oil inside is worth.
Go on then.
25 million, right? So guess how much the tanker gets paid. The company gets paid for each tanker that comes in.
Oh yeah.
They get paid 5 million, right? So so even if you lost 2 ships, you'd be able to replace that ship in a month. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And the tankers aren't even Russian. They're from different companies. So and they're all jalopies. They're not like state-of-the-art tankers. They're all So when you read the news article and it says Ukraine destroyed 2 Russian tankers, you're like, oh yeah, Ukraine must be doing good. But when you delve into it and ask it, even if you ask Grok or ChatGPT, they'll tell you the real story.
Yeah.
It's funny how they manipulate the news. They can't do that anymore. They can't get away with it anymore.
That's it. Just make me laugh.
Well, that's going to be interesting about Saudi Arabia too, because didn't Saudi Arabia do a deal with Elon to have Grok as its main AI?
Don't know.
Yeah, I think they did. The problem with that is that Grok is not going to. Elon's not going to censor Grok.
Yeah.
So because he's all big freedom of speech guy. So when Saudi Arabians start looking up abuses in the Saudi Arabian kingdom, it's all going to pop up in Grok.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe Saudi Arabia are willing to embrace their past, or maybe they're pushing forward and trying to be more progressive or something. Who knows? I thought that was funny. Oh man. Okay, we'll do a Kickstarter corner. This is going to be a very quick podcast because Rossy isn't here. The waffle. So
yeah, I'll quickly explain this half an hour later.
Kickstarter corner. I know that This Comic is Haunted is finished. Let's see how much. Congratulations to Dave. Dave's not here, man. That's what Rossy would say.
Looking forward to mine.
Yeah, I wonder what it ended on. We'll have to take a check.
Oh, I think it was twice what they asked for, minimum.
Well, I'll do a Rossy and start pounding on the keys. It was issue number 5, right? Yeah. Nearly twice as much. In dollars, it's 4,345 from a 2,000 goal. So that's pretty good. Well done, Dave. And it's good stuff too. It's really good stuff.
Yep. I'm looking forward to get that before Christmas. It's always nice to see the brown envelope in the door when I wake up, or Carolyn's got in before me and it's on the table. I'm like, I know exactly what that is. Thank you very much, lads.
Yeah, it's very the 77 are producing some of the best stuff.
That's it. The only thing we say is it needs to come out quicker.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to put a comic book together. It's even harder to keep. It's even harder to keep it going.
That's it. Well, as we mentioned earlier, people say things and they don't come up with the goods. That's nothing to do about 77. That's people who say they'll buy things, because there was that period of time where people were pledging and then pulling out, weren't they, on multiple different comics and stuff.
Yeah, that's always a tough one, because even though the thing with Kickstarter is that even though it's locked in and it says that you got the $2,000 or you made your goal, that's great, but that doesn't mean before Kickstarter collects the money that people don't cancel on you.
Yeah.
So you could say that the campaign ends and just say the comic that made the comic that haunted. I was going to say the comic that made us. The comic is haunted. Issue 5. Like, even though it says it's 4,345, somebody today can go in and pull their money.
Yeah.
But it will still say 4,345 on the counter.
Also, they can do it afterwards.
Yeah, they can do it afterwards.
Fucking hell.
So if 10 people went in and pulled their pledge, they won't get the 4,345. You'll get 4,000 or 3,900 or whatever. Yeah. But on the Kickstarter page, that number stays the same, because that's what it'll stay 4,345. It's just the way Kickstarter is. It's a bit of a bummer when people do that too.
Oh yeah. The way I pledge my thing and I just basically forget about it, and I just watch the posts come in when they do the emails and stuff. So I just sort of like ignore it until it just drops, you know what I mean? So I'm always happy. But I would never do that.
Yeah, once I pledge, I don't take it back.
Yeah.
Well, there is one Kickstarter I'm waiting on, and that's the hardback for the Art of Eduardo Rizzo. Apparently they're still shipping out the book, so I'm still waiting for that one. And it's a good company too, so even though they're taking a long time, I kind of trust them to get it done. Yeah. And as far as as far as Thugs is concerned, I paid for the fulfillment and the printing, so I'm just waiting on tracking information for the physical copies, and then that'll all be fulfilled in the space of a week, because I'll get moving on that pretty quick. So that's it for Kickstarter Corner. So you got any movies or TV?
Well, I'll just mention a couple of books because
go ahead.
So I did that post of the day about that amazing fucking Rocky Horror Show book that Carolyn's got for me, and I picked up. It was all cellophaned up, so I said, can I open it up just to check that there's no damage internally? Because it's the same with CDs. When I buy CDs, I'll always just play it in the background to make sure it plays, and then I put it away. So there's 5 upstairs in the attic for Carolyn for Christmas, but I've checked them. You know, I've not sort of listened to them, but I've checked them, because the last thing you want to do is buy something and then you open it up and it's fucked. Which is the thing I always wonder about these people when they get their partner, especially with the 2000AD stuff, and they get a book bought for them. And as you mentioned earlier about the fucking shit state of that book, the last thing you do with Christmas morning is open it up and there's fucking like something missing or it's damaged, and you just think, well, you bought that 2 months ago. Can you get a refund for it now? Because it's fucking that sort of shit. So anyway, I checked that fucking Rocky Horror Show book. There's 2 books inside. It's celebrating the 50th anniversary. And it's fucking brilliant. One of them is just the whole everything that's said in the film, the script wise, plus loads of pictures. The songs are in there and everything. It's beautiful. And the other book is the history from the stage show, from before the stage show period, like scribbles on paper and shit like that, of initial songs and dance routines, all the way to where we are now with the fandom and all that. It looked fucking beautiful. There's also another book that I got earlier, which Karen's got for me. So I've got three sort of like, well, two big books for Christmas on the Rocky Horror Show. But I've also got this fantastic book that we were in I don't know, about a year ago on the local news. There was a photographer who was having an art display of these pictures of David Bowie from when he was traveling around with them. And there was loads of like unseen ones. And he became friends with Bowie and all that. And he was like, yeah, just come with me on this tour to Germany and this, that, and the other. Amazing pictures. We were over in Deal, or where it was, Margate, one of those coastal towns. In fact, it was Deal. I've just remembered where it was on the street now, visually in my head. And we walked in to the... I just had a weird noise there. We walked in and there was an art display on upstairs it was. And we went up there and I was saying to Karen, wasn't this a thing on the news the other day? And we chatted to the person who was in the shop, into the art thing. And he went, oh, yeah, we had the Meridian News came around, did a piece on it. I said, oh, yeah, it's fantastic. The art, like the prints, you can have like one of like 100 prints of this picture and it's like fucking $2,000 and you're like, fuck me, it's amazing. But I mean, you can't afford at our level $2,000 on a print. Anyway, we were in, I think it was Canterbury, I think the other week, and that art display was on again with different pictures. Yeah, it was Canterbury, but they had a book now from the artist showing all the prints and all the write-ups about how he went about this, that, and the other, and it tells you what camera he used and all this sort of shit. And so I had a quick flick through the one that was open, and I said to Carolyn, oh, get us one of those for Christmas. So I've got some really decent books, like basically coffee table books to enjoy. But this Bowie one, I mean, I'm going to fucking thoroughly enjoy the Rocky Horror stuff, but this Bowie one's going to be fascinating. You'd be thinking, oh, I should rip that page out and use that as a print, pretend it's the print that costs $2,000 minimum. That was like the cheapest sort of thing for the big prints. But the pictures are phenomenal. You know what I mean? They're just amazing. And like you said, some of them you've seen before, but a lot of them you haven't, because it's like you don't saturate the market with tons of pictures of the same sort of period. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to all these books that I'm getting. So anyway, moving on to another genre, the films. Woohoo! I watched one film this week, and it was called, well, it still is called actually, Predator Badlands. 1 hour 47, 2025, 12A rated, 7.5 on IMDb, starring Elle Fanning, Demetrius Schuster Koala, and a load of nobodies that I've heard of. Do you know what? As a standalone film, it was quite enjoyable. The ending was a bit wank. I felt as though they just didn't know how to end it properly, and I felt it was a cop-out-ish.
Do you want to spoil it? Tell people that they can fast forward like 10 minutes.
Well, it's just basically don't watch the end. Oh dear, the build-up was interesting, you know what I mean? And I enjoyed. You've seen the trailer, so you know Elle Fanning is in half. You know what I mean? She's got the bottom ripped off, and that right. So basically, right, it starts off with the young Predator at home with his brother, and his dad turns up, and his dad's basically saying, "Right, big brother, kill your little brother. He's the runt of the litter. He's a fucking shame, right?" But you've seen the build-up of the brothers messing about, saying you need to do this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And they've got like a nice camaraderie ship, right? But when the father turns up, he throws this device out, which pulls the younger Predator to the ground, to his knees. It has like these sort of laser wires, crackling red wires, pulling down in like a sort of pyramid shape. And his brother now has to chop his head off, but his brother doesn't. And he fucking whacks him into the ship behind him. He whacks the young lad into the ship behind him, who's now trapped behind like a doorway, which he can see what's happening. And his dad then fucking battles his elder brother and kills him. And so the younger brother's like furious. But then all of a sudden he whacks off into space. He goes to this fucking area, which he was planning on doing, to fight this beast, to kill this fucking beast that no predator has managed to kill. Right? Anyway, so you've seen the clips on the TV with the plants that fire the shards out and stuff like that. And I was thinking, well, why don't you just fucking crawl past them? Then you're not at fucking head height, that sort of shit.
Mm.
He meets Elle Fanning. I quite enjoyed her character. I thought it was quite funny. You know what I mean? She's a robot. She's ripped in half. He puts her on the back a bit like Chewie and C-3PO interaction. But the bits where he swings around onto his shoulder when he puts this, he gets a lot of the cordage type shit, makes a frame and whacks her onto his back. It was interesting to watch that. I'm thinking, I can't wait to see the behind the scenes stuff on this. Anyway, they do some killing of things and bits and bobs happen. He managed to get her to her legs, and she's starting to be rejoined together when the big beast attacks that he wants to kill. The big beast hits the area that she's in, and she gets separated from her legs again, which I did laugh at. But they also find this little creature. This little creature fucking, it spits onto the predator, and she tells him later on, because it keeps following them about, and they fucking become like a 3-person team. But he keeps saying to her, "You're a tool. I'm just using you as a tool," basically. And she says that little beast did that to you to welcome you into its family. Now you've got the scent. You're part of the family, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, the big beast has the predator eventually pins him to the ground, leans down with its massive mouth ready to eat him, has a little sniff. Fucking hell, you're one of the clan. That fucking little beastie.
Oh, wow.
Is the baby of the big beastie.
That was clever.
Yeah. So things happen. I won't spoil everything. The things happen, and the little wee beastie becomes a big beastie, and it helps to fucking attack, doing the stuff of the final battle sequence and all that sort of shit, which I thought was a bit wanky. But the predator then fucking does a sneeze onto it to bring it into his clan, sort of thing. So there's things like that I thought were quite cleverly put in. But like I say, when you get to the final sort of like the big payoff with the battles and stuff, it was very much like Stormtroopers doing stuff. You know what I mean? It suddenly became shit. Yeah, and I just think, fuck.
Have you seen that little short of the Stormtrooper at the self checkout?
No.
He's at the self checkout. You know, he use your gun to target the barcode.
To
save price. He keeps on missing.
Right.
So he's there for hours at the checkout trying to check himself out, but he can't because he keeps on missing with the barcode.
Dear. Yeah. So and this now I know something happened at the very end, which basically said, "Get ready for us." That's it. So at the very end, he goes back to his world, and his dad comes down to fucking say, "Right, you're fucking dead." He sends two of his like acolytes to fucking kill him, and he kills both of them instantly. And then he has a battle with the dad, and he kills the dad. And you think it's all over. Then another massive spaceship suddenly.
It's ever over.
That's right. Another spaceship appears over the horizon, and the predator turns around, and it sort of just about to land, and he just goes, "Mum." So you just think, right, okay, we're either going to continue, and the mum's going to appear, or that's like a little sort of like joke to say, yeah, the real big boss is turning up now. But I've got to say, I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? It's not. I enjoyed the additions to certain things in the mythos, but I just wish the ending could have been a bit better, because, like I say, when their version of Stormtroopers appear and they're all robotic and they're crap, I'm like, for fuck's sakes. It's like fucking Rennie wrote it, you know what I mean? You come up with a story and you just can't end it because you're fucking not good enough. But anyway.
But I do like when they do little twists like that. When you said that the little creature makes them part of the clan, I do like when they add little bits and pieces like that. Like, that's why I like the Alien Earth, because it's stuff that you hadn't seen in an Alien movie before.
That's right.
So with a franchise that, like myself and Rossy had talked about it, as over 40 years old or near enough to 40 years old, it's hard to put new life or a new breath of life into that franchise, and I think Alien Earth did it. And it sounds that they kind of did the same with Predator Badlands. They added some little touches that were kind of unique.
Yeah, because he's got different weaponry, a couple of bits and bobs that he uses. Quite interesting. And then obviously, there's a thing happens and he doesn't have all the kit with him when all the shit starts kicking off. So that was quite nicely done. So he couldn't rely on every single thing. So I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it sounds better than the animated movie they did with the.
Oh yeah, with the 3 stories.
Oh God, some of it was interesting, but the way they kind of ruined the whole Predator franchise with the end of it, or what happened at the end scene. But Badlands seems good. I might actually look out for that now.
Yeah, I say it. Apart from that final bit, I was quite rapt at what I was watching. Do you know what I mean? Nice design of the Predator, because he's a young version, so you don't have that full mandible extension thing compared to the older one. So I was hoping that because all of his dreadlocks are tied back. Now I'm wondering if somewhere in what's been cut on the floor is once he becomes a fully graduated Predator sort of thing after doing the kill, if they then cut the band and his dreadlocks open up normal. But that never happened, because I was just thinking, was that a thing that was going to happen? But who knows?
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll do it for the sequel, Badlands 2.
Yeah. Well, I presume it made enough money, but I was watching a thing the other day about the problem with streaming. Taking a film and putting it to streaming too quick is you don't get that massive boost of videos, DVD sales or Blu-ray sales. So that money has disappeared now. So where a film like Dread would be even though Dread was a flop, Dread would be an absolute failure now with no DVD sales.
That sounds great, but the thing is, who did Badlands? That was Disney, right? Disney Hulu, or Fox Disney.
One of them.
Yeah, but Disney charge around $15 a month on subscription, right? How many subscribers do you think Disney has a month?
Fuck knows.
Worldwide.
Well, that's true, but the thing is, they've got to do the output, haven't they?
Yeah, but they don't really do that much output, though, do they?
Well, and then they disappear.
You have to look at their list of movies that they've done, and that's counting the even the Badlands did. I don't know how much it made in the box office, but even if it did okay at the box office, that's gravy as well on top of what they're getting through their subscribers.
Yeah, but you know they're greedy, aren't they? They just want more.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think streaming cannibalizes the box office. I think there should be a longer wait time between.
Most definitely.
Yeah, between a movie released in the movie theaters and when it goes to streaming. But then all the people that pay for streaming will be pissed off and probably cancel. Because I know people that didn't want to go see Fantastic Four. They wanted to wait till it came to streaming. Because they knew it would take a few months and it'll pop up.
Then they could cry it in their own home.
Cry at how fucking bad it was.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine being Reed Richards, the most brainiest man on the planet, and his plan to stop Galactus eating the planet was to move the whole Earth. Instead of setting up the pylons in the first place to zap Galactus himself away instead of the whole Earth away.
Yeah.
I mean, what a dimwit. And then allowing his wife to go on interstellar space travel pregnant. Oh my God. Fucking idiot. Anyway, it's Pervo Pascal, so nobody cares.
That's it.
Did you watch any TV shows?
I've just been watching series stuff that's in the UK, like comedy stuff, and Eva Longoria in Spain. She's traveled. We watched her do one in Mexico. She was quite thoroughly entertaining. She was on that show where she was going around food places and that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And she's now doing one in Spain. There's I think it was 7 or 8 episodes, and we just started watching them. Got them all on the Virgin box, and we watched the first one. And weirdly, she only learned Spanish a few years ago, but she speaks it fucking amazingly well. So I think she started learning it when she was doing the Mexican trip.
She learned the language of our conquerors.
Yes. But
Yeah.
yeah, and she actually eats the food as well. She's still got a svelte figure or a nice figure, but she actually eats the food and enjoys it. You know what I mean? Where she's sitting around the table and people. I very much start after the camera's cuts. She spits all the food out and goes, "Fuck that! I can't fucking eat too much." You know what I mean? But I imagine certain people do. But yeah, so we're enjoying that. And there's a couple of other programs we're watching, but it's just slowly getting through things. But I'm sure by Christmas the box will be full. We had to cull some stuff the other day. We sort of went back like about a year and went, well, we haven't bothered watching that. Right, delete, and we only deleted 10%.
Oh my goodness.
But we're down to 70% now. But
well, I do YouTube TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they'll record shows and they'll keep it for like up to 8 months.
Ah.
And then they'll start deleting from the after the 8-month point. You know. But that was cheaper than cable. I mean, we had Dish Network for a long time, and then we're like looking at the bill, going, "Why are we paying this when we can get YouTube TV and get the same channels?" So we switched. We switched to YouTube TV, and it's saving ourselves a bunch of money. The only show I've been watching is the Navy SEALs show. Yeah, and we watched season 4 because we just turned it on because Cody Brown is on there, and he is the main guy in Sister Wives. He was the husband that was married to four women, and of course he's a dickhead. But he's kind of an interesting character, kind of a tragic character because he's such a moron. That he's not really self-aware, and he made it all the way to the end and ended up fucking up at the very, very end. But we watched it for that because we thought it'd be interesting to see what he's like outside of the reality show, the Sister Wives show. Yeah. So that was interesting. And then I went, hold on, there's 3 more seasons of this. There's like, we missed season 1, 2, and 3, so let's watch that. Season 1, we start watching season 1, and we're down to the last episode. But that season had Scary Spice on it, and she quit around I think the 3rd episode. She decided she'd had enough, and they had Dr. Drew. I don't know you know who Dr. Drew is. He's big over here.
No.
Drew Pinsky. He used to appear at Adam Carolla. They used to have their own radio show for a while.
Right.
But he only lasted a day. He got heat exhaustion on the first day, and he was dizzy. He couldn't do anything really. So after the first task that they did, he was done. He was out on the first day, and so was K+8, the mom that had 8 children. They had a show on it, Kate Gosselin, like around 20 years ago.
Yeah.
She was on it, and she didn't last that long either. But she had a back injury. When she hit the water, she hit it wrong, and it smacked her back around her neck. So that was her done. But it's a really interesting show, and I'm looking at it and going, would I be able to do what they're doing? And I said, well, maybe if I was in my 20s, but not now. There's no fucking way. I mean, Rossy wouldn't even last with the Bergen on his back, or like doing a jog up some of the cliff faces they do.
Oh yeah.
There's no way Rossy would quit after 5 minutes, and I wouldn't be that far. Yeah, I wouldn't be that far behind him. Yeah, a lot of it is mental. It's a mental thing that your body wants to give up way before your mind does. But they did the I think they call it dead dropping. You know what that is?
Go on then.
It's when they tie your hands behind your back.
Oh, drop you in the water.
Yeah, and drop you in the water. You gotta go down to the bottom and push yourself up.
Yeah.
They did that a few times, and the season 1 is really interesting because they had the girl from The Bachelorette, and she's the only one left in the show that isn't an athlete, and she's surprising everybody of how mentally tough and strong and smart she is, because nobody expected her to be that way. There's a part where they lock them in a room, and they put bags over their head, and they have the plastic
plastic cuffs.
Yeah. On them, and they're cuffed to a bar, right? And the whole idea was that the staff leave them there and see if they can figure out that they're supposed to get out, use their own initiative,
Yeah.
and see if they're, instead of just being drones and being do what they're told, they just bring them in there and leave them there, and they have 20 minutes to try and figure out that, hey, maybe we're supposed to get out of this. We're not supposed to stay here waiting for orders. And she was the one that did it. She was like, yeah, she was the one that copped on and did it. The football player didn't do it. The NBA player didn't do it. The soccer player didn't do it. She was the one that copped on. And then she took off her hood and everything else and got out of cuffs, and she'd start talking to the others and said, why would they put us in here and leave us here for this long without figuring out that we're going to try and get out? So she was actually the pretty smart one. It's very interesting to see how people react in their different conditions, and how like the one guy, the football player, he's not used to people being disrespectful to him. And so when you're in the military like that, or you're in the SEALs, you're going to get shit on, and it's more of how do you take it. But there was one really funny bit. I was in tears laughing, where they're in a car and the scenario is that they have to escape through the city, and there's people firing blanks at them and everything else to give the impression that they're the enemy, and they have a certain route they're supposed to take out the city, out of the city. And at the very end of the route, there's a barrier, and if they're smart enough, they smash through the barrier. Right, there's a guy with a machine gun standing in front of it, and he's supposed to be firing. He's supposed to be firing at you, and the barrier's behind him. But the whole thing is, you go for it. You smash through that barrier because that's your way out, right?
Yeah.
But the first couple of people in there got that far, then reversed because the barrier was there, and the Navy SEAL guy, Billy Blue Eyes, I call him, was sitting beside him. Goes, you failed, right? We're dead. The minute you back up, we're dead, right? Another guy decided to when he's going up to the barrier and the enemy soldiers in front of him, the enemy terrorist or whatever is in front of him, the guy jumps out of the way because he doesn't want to get hit by the car, right? So the contestant starts driving after the terrorist, and so the guy says, "Stop! What are you doing?" Says, "Oh, I'm chasing after the bad guy." You're not supposed to chase after the fucking bad guy. Your job is to get me out of here. It's not to chase after the bad guy because you're dead. Because you think he's not the only bad guy in the area. Some of it was really, really hilarious. You're just looking at some of the decisions they're making, and you're just laughing your ass off. One guy, when they do, when they do the backward fall into the water.
Oh yeah.
One guy did a backflip in front of the Navy SEALs, and the Navy SEALs are looking at him like, "You fucking muppet, what are you doing?" You're gonna have to pay the man after that. You're just supposed to do your orders. You're doing a backflip off here. What have you smacked your head?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm in tears laughing at some of it. There's two English guys and one American, but the English guy I like the most is the Billy Blue Eyes guy, and he said that he was actually captured behind enemy lines once, and he was interrogated. Yeah,
he's a member of SAS. That's right. Yeah, he's the one Carolyn always said when we watched our program. Oh, he's the one who's the scariest to me.
Oh, but I love him though, because he gives respect when it's earned. Like the one guy he was giving shit to, later on, he fulfilled the task and he did it really well. And it was a tough one. And Billy said to him, "Well done, you did a great job. That was great stuff, fantastic." So he doesn't give out praise all the time. He just gives it out when it's necessary. You know what I mean? But he's my favorite guy out of a whole lot of them. And then the other guy, he's got black hair, and he's built he's really well built, and you can tell that his hair has dyed and his beard has dyed. But one of the guys called him Tom Cruise, and it was the funniest thing when he said it. Oh my God, it's like, "Oh, here comes Tom Cruise," and I'm sure when that Navy SEAL guy watches back the video and sees that, he's probably cracking up laughing. All three of them are probably cracking up laughing.
Yeah.
The thing with the thing with Cody Brown is that, the way they have the meetings together and they go through the different recruits and figure out who's who. And this is late on in the show, and he said that nobody really liked him, Cody Brown. And Billy Blue Eyes says, "Well, he's the kind of guy that you stand out in front of you on a minefield." and another guy said, "You wouldn't follow him to the toilet."
That's it.
About how bad this other guy's leadership skills were. You wouldn't follow him to the toilet. It's a good show. I'm really enjoying it. But that's it for that. I don't think I've been watching anything else. Of course, it's December, so that's Marnie season. She's got the Christmas tree out and some of the Christmas decorations out, and that means that we're going to be watching Christmas movies for the next fucking 25 days.
Brilliant.
Yep, she'll get out the DVDs and see what's on streaming, and we'll start watching them.
Dear.
That's her holiday.
I see.
Uh,
I know we've had a promo for something on one of the Discovery or similar channels for a thing about the Incas, like a sort of historical thing, telling the history of all that. But look, before it even came up with the Incas, you could tell what it was about with the clips that were shown, but it looked beautifully shot. And I think that starts the 14th of December. So that's definitely going to go onto the box. But that one will be watched as is as soon as possible, you know what I mean? Because it looks so well done. But yeah, normally you get a couple of good things. But that's always makes me laugh about people with the BBC is when they got about fucking David Attenborough and his fucking programs. Now, we've watched stuff on Discovery and the other similar channels where there was one that was about South America and it was beautifully shot. It was, equal of anything I've ever seen on any other fucking wildlife shows. The voiceover was an actor, which I can't remember the name of the person off the top of my head, but he made it sound really good. It wasn't a shit voiceover, you know what I mean? And we said at the time, now, I don't mind David Attenborough stuff, but this fucking venerated fucking zeal that people have over him, he only does the talk over stuff. Other people spent 2 years out in the wilderness trying to get those fucking 2 minutes of footage that are going to look amazing.
Fucking 30 seconds of footage, and they're there freezing their balls off for 3 years.
Yeah. So I respect them more. Now, when he did initial stuff and he was out there meeting the gorillas and all that, yeah, no problem. But you were lucky enough to have that fucking job. I'm sure there's at least 1 million other people on the planet who could do the job just as good, but will never ever get the chance, right? So when we watch these things and then we hear people go on about the BBC should be kept because of things like David Attenborough, I'm like, the way you're talking, it's like you're saying everywhere else in the world is shit at producing TV. You know what I mean? People have surpassed your fucking David Attenborough stuff by a fucking long way. The skill levels on show by other countries is amazing. So I get annoyed when I hear all this.
It's not as if it's the 70s or 80s anymore.
Exactly. I mean, so
Wicker's World.
This. Yeah. So it's like I can't wait to watch other stuff because at least they're going to have more of an insight into the country that they're doing because they're probably from the fucking country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're looking forward to that, and I'm sure there'll be a couple of other interesting things to watch. In fact, oh my God, I watched this half-an-hour program the other night about phone theft in London. Very interesting.
Phone theft?
Oh yeah, the phone, every 7.5 minutes, somebody's phone in London gets stolen.
Wow.
Right? £80 million industry each year it is. Because they said how much it cost. It said how many phones are stolen each year, and I just timed that by £1,000 because that's how much an average phone costs nowadays. Minimum £1,000. I think the one I bought it, that Samsung I bought for, it should have been like 1,400, but I go for 1,200, and I got a free set of earbuds. So I thought, well, okay, I'll pay that in cash. Well, not cash. I'll pay it outright instantly from Samsung. So average phones are £1,000. And then the numbers they said, I just did a quick calculation. I went, fuck me, that's 80 million. So it was showing all this stuff, aerial footage, it was drones following them, helicopters, all that sort of stuff, that the people on their bikes. Now, they're on these bikes, electric bikes, that are doing 50 odd miles an hour. And it showed the police doing intercept stuff. smashing them off and all that. Then it showed that the police have now got the same bikes, because when they're on the motorbikes, it's still very difficult to follow them in areas.
Yeah, in small areas.
That's right. So now the police have got the same bikes, which has fucked them right up. Still not stopped them, but now they know that the police will just keep going until they get them, because they can follow them everywhere. It showed an actress who was on, I think she was on Bridgeton. She'd been robbed twice of her phone. And she said, I don't go out, my phone doesn't come out of my pocket unless I'm in a safe place. All this, she said, I shouldn't be doing this. It's London. You know, so basically, Sadiq Khan's fucked up, because him and the police say the crime isn't as bad as you think. But yeah, if that's how many phones are getting stolen, and that's how by minutes, a phone gets stolen every 7.5 minutes, that's not fucking good.
No, that's a huge failure.
That's right. Then it showed a person. There was a woman got her phone grabbed, but she didn't let go of it fully. She grabbed one of the lads off the back of the bike, and there was a big fight, and then all these burly blokes piled in and grabbed him. So that was quite good to watch, a bit of vigilante justice on the street, and he was arrested. It showed a person who I've been seeing recently on YouTube who goes around and he watches pickpockets, and as they're moving in for the thing, he'll shout, pickpocket, pickpockety, pickpockety, and point them out right up close so people see it. He was on the programme talking about how it's fucking horrendous in London. It had the police getting together to arrest, I think it was 5 or 7 people one morning, and they all fucking went at the same time, sort of thing, you know, smashing down the doors, going in and finding all the phones. And also, when they arrested one bloke on the street, he was, oh, what you doing? They opened his bag, and inside was all the tin foil. So what they do is they grab your phone, and if they can't get into it instantly, they wrap it in tin foil so the signal doesn't go out, so nobody can follow where the phone is. Because they've all been going to an area, the same area in China, because this person who had theirs nicked twice, I think it might have been here actually, they looked onto it and it showed where it went to initially, and then it went shipped off to China. Now, the reason that the police say a lot of them are going to China is because they can't access the internet like we can on their phones. So if they want to know what's really going on, they need a Western or some other country's phones to be able to open up, and then they're free to roam the web. It had another bloke on who said they took like 90,000 from him because the phone was open in his hand. They went straight into the bank, wiped everything out before he could do anything. Then they fucking whacked up loads of fucking debt on fucking loans and fucking buying shitloads of shit all over the place, Amazon, eBay, to go to these safe houses that they use, all this sort of stuff, even fucking meals on Uber meals, and anything they could make money from, they did instantly, right, within fucking minutes if they could. So it was interesting to watch. But yeah, that number of things, because I'm aware of my surroundings when I've got my phone out. If I'm going to London this weekend for the Southern contingent, I will be aware when my phone is out of what's happening around me. And if, say, somebody did go to grab it, I'm telling you now, there would be a vicious fucking fight on the street between them and me. It would not be fucking good, because I will not fucking let anybody take my stuff, and it will end up with somebody fucking being unconscious. You know what I mean? But it's just like, well, I got that shoplifter years ago, and he fucking ran. As soon as I copped him, Carolyn seen him, she said, "Look at that! He's fucking putting." When she wasn't swearing, he's putting loads. He's nicking stuff, John. I said, "Who?" She got him over there. So I watched him for a bit. Then he clocked me watching him. He sprinted out the store. I sprinted after him, jumped on his back, pinned him to the ground, fucking got him in a chokehold. Seen his mates around the corner, watching what was going on. And I sort of looked, you come anywhere near me, I said, and he'll be unconscious. And I told him, you're going to be fucking unconscious in a second, mate, if you don't fucking stop it. And he was going, oh, just take the stuff back, just take the stuff back. And I'm going, you fucking cunt. This is the reason we fucking pay more. So people like you nicking everything from the fucking stores. He had fucking about 5 pairs of jeans that were minimum at the time, even then, like 50 quid. You know what I mean?
50, 60 quid.
Yeah. And it was obviously a gang, because they were all, I'd say there were 4 or 5 people, all I could see them around the corner looking. And so I dragged them back to the fucking shop. I said, right, get the fucking get your own people here. Like one of the security people from the they have like security that roam the town centre. So I said, get a couple of your blokes here to get in. I said, because there's people outside watching. And as soon as they got him in their hands, I said, right, I'm off then. Because I thought, I ain't getting done for fucking beating him up when the police turn up. But yeah, it's fucking insane in London, you know what I mean? So that was a half an hour program, and it was fucking amazing to know of how insane it is. But yeah, that was an interesting program that I'd recorded.
If it's like that in London, what do you think it's like in other European capitals?
I know. And you should not have to fucking worry about getting your phone out and doing a call or popping on something, do this, that, and the other. You should not have to worry about that. Now, you know when people use that term victim shaming for women who've been raped and things like that?
Oh, yeah.
They use that term. So you say, blah, 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 you shouldn't do that. Well, when people say, well, you shouldn't have your phone out. Well, hang on. You're victim blaming there. You're living in a free society. Why shouldn't you be able to walk on the street with your phone out, talking to somebody, or going on YouTube, or whatever you fucking do?
That reminds me of the Dread story. You remember the Dread story where the rich guy walks down to the poor neighborhood and he gets robbed, and Dread slaps him with a like a 6-month jail sentence because he should know better.
He incited it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. That's victim blaming.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to do the prog?
Let's rock.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub.
Prog 2460. We have a cover by Nick Percival. It's not a bad cover. I like it. I just don't like what they've done with the 2000AD logo.
Is this the new thing where they're trying to fucking incorporate that part into all the imagery? Because we've had a few recently, haven't we? Yeah. I like it, but obviously the links look weird because there's too many of them. Also, that stance of Dread, I don't like the hand up. Like, I'm just trying to do it myself. It's weird. It's not a natural pose.
It looks like he's got no neck.
Yeah. Perhaps if his hand was so we see the bottom of the magazine, that would be a better pose for me for the cover. But I love the details in the melting of the character behind, above and behind. Again, I don't give a toss about all the writing on the bottom. It's just waste to me. It's a waste. But yeah, it stands out. Very nice. Gives you a bit of an idea of what's to come.
Are you going to buy the art of Sean Phillips?
I was going to, but then I couldn't be bothered.
Well, the problem with it is it's all really old artwork.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's all artwork from when he first began his career.
Right.
He did some stuff for some girls' comics, I think, back in the day, and then he started drawing for 2000AD. But, I mean, the last stuff that Sean Phillips did for 2000AD must have been fucking hell, back in the... I mean, that looks all 90s stuff.
Didn't he? Wasn't he one who disappeared off and did the Marvel zombies and stuff?
Yes, his big Marvel thing was the Marvel zombies, but he also does this series called Criminal with Ed Brubaker. And that's been going around for decades, and he's won awards for that as well. And they're actually making it into a TV series.
That's why they've done this, haven't they?
Yeah, but this is kind of like old school. You know, he did one of the Dread daily newspaper strips, and it involved. I remember it because it really stood out. His artwork was so good; it really stood out at the time because it was in the latter years of the Dread Daily Star strip where they were having like some foreign artists draw Dread. I was thinking Pino was one of them. Carlos Pino was one of them that did some of that. It was after Gibson. So they had Ron Smith, they had McMahon, where they cut up some of the early strips that made up the first Dread daily strip. It was, I think it was a McMahon strip or a Square strip, one or the other. And then they had Ron Smith for a long time drawing the daily Dreads. And then I think they switched to Ian Gibson. And then after Ian Gibson, there was like different artists and that, and they had some foreign artists. And then Sean Phillips, I didn't think did a strip. I think Mark Miller might have wrote it. The Dread strip, but involved some sort of wrestling in it. I remember wrestling being involved in it, but I'd like to see that strip again. Actually, I wonder if they've. I don't think they've ever reprinted it, and it's such a shame. I thought those volumes of the Daily Star strips that they reprinted were fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of it, but there you go. Yeah, so I don't think he's drawn anything for 2008 for a long time. So that's weird that they would do that.
I looked at it, but I just thought, you know what? If it goes on offer, I might get it. It's like I'm looking at the latest releases, graphic novels, and I'm going, oh my god, the Battle Action Annual 3, which came out in September, is already got 25% off. Now, normally I'll get that when it becomes cheaper because I've got the first two. But
Yeah, give it a couple of months, and the art of Sean Phillips will be like 80% off.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking. So from when I got the last one, which is the Anderson Death book, then there was a Rogue Trooper 3 collection. That's got a massive 5% off. Then it's a Battle Action. Then it's Kid Kong. Then it's the Scream book, which is 65 quid. Then it's the Full Tilt Boogie. Then the Judge Dredd Case Files 48. Then there's that big ass sword, which is out of stock apparently. Then you got the annual, which I'm gonna have a look at Forbidden Planet, but I don't intend to buy that. I think I might do a piss take video saying how much is fucking reprint and then compare it to the 77, which is, oh, let me think. No reprint.
Yeah, you can't do reprint anymore. It's just too for the price they're charging. I think they were charging like 25 quid last time, weren't they, for one of the annuals?
25 quid for that one and 30 quid for the special one in the different cover.
Yeah, you can't do that and have reprint in anymore. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, and people going on about, well, it's what we had. I don't give a shit if it's what we fucking had. It's not what we should be getting. That's fucking 30 years ago.
Not for that price. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm looking at the web shop exclusives, and you've got I saw some people had their Carlos Esquire Apex edition arrived.
Oh yeah, here's the thing about that. Just talking about what's not like the way things were years ago. Years ago, we didn't really have reprint titles. I mean, that came about like probably in the early 2000s, where they start printing the best of 2000 AD or the best of this, the best of that, but you didn't really have reprints. So when you missed the story in 2000 AD, there were no comic shops. So you'd have to pick them up at a church jumble sale or some comic mart someplace, but there were no comic shops. So when they reprinted stuff like that in the Dread in the 2000 annuals in the 80s and the Dread annuals, to some people that was like, this is new. I've never seen it before. While today they reprint nearly everything. Yeah. And because there's a business in nostalgia, right? So they reprint everything, and you can basically get a hold of it. So it's totally different. So you can't charge that much money. And I think with the Esquire Apex edition, they had the fucking worst strips ever in that Apex edition. It's an absolute disgrace. Why didn't Rebellion get in touch with Julius? Julius Howe keeps in touch with Carlos's family, and he's got a massive collection of Carlos's artwork, some of it classic stuff. So you mean swallow your fucking pride and reach out to Julius, and you would have had a better Apex edition. I mean, a lot of those Apex strips are from the annuals. Carlos's artwork is always good, but they weren't as classic. They weren't as best. That's right. Jesus Christ! How dare you charge? It's like here's the definitive Steve Dillon Apex edition, and it includes like obscure strips that didn't do anything, and it leaves out all the Dread. Imagine if they did that.
That's why I've not bought the ones that come since the first two. I just think the content isn't good enough. They've not fucking. And I don't blame David Roach. He's fucking asking. But Rebellion need exactly what you said, to fucking swallow their pride and fucking, if needs be, beg people to fucking be able to get stuff. You know what I mean? Because what they're going to do in 10 years' time, we've got this super duper Apex edition because we've got an extra 3 pages now that we actually managed to get.
Well, that's the thing that they did with the Bolland one as well, which was a disgrace. They added an extra pages for the softer, smaller soft cover. So if you bought the big deluxe edition, you're like, what the fuck, man? You didn't include these in there.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't.
That's it. So from the web shop exclusive stuff, the last thing I bought from there was The Art of Jock, which is absolutely phenomenal, beautiful book. But then you've got the Treasury, you've got the alternate cover of the 2000 annual, you've got the Carlos Esquire, You've got the hardback Action Before the Ban Volume 1 Webshop Edition, 50 quid. Now, the thing with that is, I want to see that before I fucking put 50 quid up for that, because all the other fucking mistakes they've done. So I need to see something now. Then you've got Nemesis. You've got the Dread Tooth and Claw Webshop exclusive. Then you've got an Alan Moore. This is released in 4 months' time. The Complete 2000AD by Alan Moore. Future Shocks and Other Stories, Slipcase Edition. You've got Rogue Trooper, When a GI Dies, Webshop exclusive. You've got Charlie's War. This is 4 months from now, 120 quid. That's an Apex edition. I think that's a Webshop. Yeah, it is an Apex, yeah. Another Slain. Then you've got the New Adventures from the Trigon Empire, the Trigon Empire, Book 1, which is done by Michael Cowell and Tom Foster. So that's an interesting thing.
Do you know, yeah, but you know what's funny about that? I was reading about that. It's supposed to feature the decline of the Empire, because in the Trigon Empire books, it's all about the rise. And this is like, well, how did it decline? Nobody wants to read that. Nobody wants to read how everything fell to shit. Nobody wants to read that.
And then the last two things which make me laugh is there's a Judge Dredd pin badge set from 2020, and you're like, oh, but it says underneath that print edition. What the fuck? You don't even know what you fucking. Whoever's in charge of your website doesn't fucking proofread any of their fucking adverts on it. And then the final thing they've got, the San Diego 2023 Judge Dredd movie, Judge Dredd by Matt Ferguson poster. That was 55 quid. It's got 60% off now, so you can get that for $21.99. So another thing from San Diego that didn't sell. They will never learn, because obviously they've got to bring things back from San Diego to sell, which defeats the object. And then they come out with this namby-pamby thing, didn't they, about, well, it's not specifically just for there, it's exclusively going to be shown there, and then you can get it afterwards. No. We all know why you did it, mate, because nothing.
It's all wordplay, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's all wordplay.
We're fucking idiots.
Marketing.
Yeah. So anyway, there's the bits and bobs.
See, that the thing about the Treasury British Comics annual that they come out with, most of that is reprint anyways. So they can get away with it.
Yeah.
All right, Judge Dredd Messengers Part 1, Ken Neiman, Nick Purcell, Annie Parkhouse.
Right, just get the page. There it is. Yeah, it's 10 to 5 in the new world, and it looks like something bad has happened on the Brown farm. Brother Jeremiah calls for the town to help him right the wrong, but they all turn away, and so he ventures off himself. Now it's 21:47, and Dredd gets a call to investigate a stimmy sale gone wrong. And it's from Sarah Kopp, from that forgettable story a while back. Meanwhile, Giant and Rico wandering through the wrecked block when they come across Merlin Kozaks, who seems to be co-joined by two porn stars who I'm sure Rossy can name. And now we're in the Undercity. And the dead judge character from the Rennie masterpiece comes across some freaks and tells that he's looking for iron teeth. Yeah.
You know, I had so many jokes with cop out, cop on. I said, but I think this is going to lead. I read somewhere that this is going to lead into a mega epic for next year. I've absolutely no fucking interest.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I like Nick's artwork.
It's very atmospheric.
Yeah, the panel of Rossy sitting down to clean. I mean, the guy sitting down the Kleenex in front of him in the lube watching the porno is pretty funny. And I like that Gordon Rennie put himself and the Neiman creature together to make one creature. That's fantastic. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. It's just going to be another dead end.
Yeah, I'm exactly with you. I just feel as though it doesn't sit in the world of Dredd to me. I have no interest for it. I like horror, I like science fiction, I like war and all them sort of things, but I just feel as though the artwork is beautiful, no fault with that. Let's say it works brilliant with it. I mean, that picture, that panel where everyone turns away when he asks for people to help him, beautifully done, and so much so much on their faces to give the shamed look of all the characters looking away after they're sort of like, yeah, we'll help you sort of thing. Beautiful. no fault whatsoever. But I just feel I'm bored with the story, and it's the first part. And the thing is, the problem is as well, it's like we're jumping all over the place. And this seems to be the thing with some of the storytellers, specific storytellers in 2000 AD. They're fucking here, there, back, forward, future, past. Fucking hell. Can't we just have a fucking linear story once in a while?
And it depends on many parts this is too, because don't we have the Christmas Prog showing up?
Oh, God, I hope it's not in that.
Yeah, but Nick's art is really nice. I do like his horror stuff.
He's got, do you know what? When it's like a dusky environment, it's really creepy, lovely. When he does his fire, that's one of the best fire effects that he does compared in out of all the stuff I've seen in numerous comics. The fire effect is really nice.
Yeah, the burnt embers going up into the air.
Yeah, it's all them sort of things. So yeah, you cannot fault that. But it's just like I want Nick to have a chance to do something where it's like, even if it was like a big tale at night time, so you can really enhance his stuff, but just a normal dread story, normal crimes, normal weird crimes, because all this is fucking fairy tale-y fucking shit. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. Well, the thing with Nick is that he's been. It seems like he's been labeled as the horror guy or the dark horror guy, but he's capable of so much more. I mean, like you were saying, if you look at the faces that he's painted, and even the last one that he did, some of the faces that he did were just like amazing. And I'd like to see him do stuff that's not just horror. You know.
Yeah.
But, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, Rogue Trooper Ghost Patrol Part 11, Alex DeCampi, Neil Edwards, Matt Soff, and the Cosplay Cowboy Dim Dumbbell.
All right. Rogue and his crew are just about to submerge their craft when the Sun Legion attack them. Whoa, exciting! Rogue continues with the dive into the sea, which kills those Legionnaires that had boarded the hull of their ship. They activate the sonar to find the lost Souther base, and then a massive creature with its dangling lure makes for them. Fucking absolutely terrible.
I mean, the gliders aren't even jet controlled or anything.
Yeah,
so where did they?
So they're floating around the fucking they're floating around in the middle of the sea, just waiting for a target, and then they come down. It's like, what the fuck? They've got no weaponry.
They're all going to hit the water at some stage.
Yeah, exactly. They've got no weaponry, no backpacks, no nothing, and they land, and he's going to go in with like a las sword through the fucking turret, and I'm thinking to myself, and even the most basic of things was going to happen, right? He was going to fucking submerge, right? And the people on the fucking hull were going to fucking dissolve. Now, so they've landed on it, and let's say they can't get in. And they've got a chance to get off. Well, they can't get off because they fucking let go of their gliders. It's all fucking bollocks. It's like you're telling a story to fucking simpletons who just forget the previous panel. And it's shameful that they're treating the stories, they're treating the readers to such dirge. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, it was so bad. I mean, the gliders, there's no land around them anywhere, so they're all going to die anyhow.
Yeah, where have they come from? How did they get in the air to begin with? Because we all know with gliders, you need.
How are they able to catch that? How are they able to gain speed to catch that ship?
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen people paraglide?
Yeah.
You're telling me they're able to get on the back of an F-15 or whatever?
I know.
I guarantee you, it was one of those fucking biplanes from World War I. They still wouldn't be able to have enough speed to catch it.
No. And once the vehicle they're chasing starts dodging and weaving, it's atrocious.
It's funny, man. They should. It's like someone that never read a comic book before decided to write a comic book. And
how are they now? When people do this hand gliding stuff, they normally have stuff to put their feet into to make them into that position. Well, there's nothing on this, on any of them flying around, that holds their feet in position.
You're absolutely right. I should redraw the panels of them dangling, trying their best to hang on.
Yeah,
Falling
Well,
off.
have you seen that famous clip of that bloke who goes with an instructor, and the instructor hasn't actually clipped him on, and he's hanging by his fucking hands,
Yeah.
and he flies off down the valley, and he eventually gets close enough to the ground. Once the instructor realizes he's going to kill him, he needs to get low quick. But yeah, I when I read this, I read it in disbelief of what I was actually seeing. Who the fuck is the writer? Oh,
Alex,
yeah,
they can't be.
it's the suicide enabler. If this is supposed to be hair decent stuff, God knows. And then that bit at the end where they're underwater, right? They've got two big fuck off cannons on top of the ship on the craft, and they've come up with a big beastie. Well, the cannon can blow it away. Oh, there we are. It's dead. That's not a scary thing, is it? She's probably read that. She's got that bit from Star Wars where it goes into the thingy and then it flies out the Falcon. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah. Here's the sad thing. I think Rossy said that the can't be something to do with the screenplay. But so
I'm worried.
expect a lot. Yeah, because expect a lot of these elements, or like about Rogue's origin and everything else, to show up in like totally rewrite everything for the movie. And the sad part about it is that you don't need that. You know, Rogue is a one-hit character. He's a genetic infantryman that is hunting after Trader General. That's all you need to know about him. You know he's a clone and blah blah blah. He's been cloned to be the best there is, and blah, 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 and he has his dead buddies microchips. You don't need to know any other backstory. You don't need to know, well, these are soldiers that were from this era and transplanted into this, and you don't need to know anything else. That's all you need to know. That's the beauty of some of 2000AD's characters, like Robo Hunter. He's a smart aleck guy with a robotic cigar that hunts robots. You don't need to know all, like, really anything else. And I'm afraid that because they've overcomplicated Rogue's origin now, having those people out there, the Quartz Massacre and the Quartz Zone Massacre and all this kind of crap that they put in there, that's going to make its way into the movie. Some of this bad writing. So that's what has me worried about the movie. I think the movie will actually make its money because they're doing it so cheaply and inexpensive that I think they will make their money back, but it won't be a blockbuster.
Nah.
All right. The fuck is this again?
It's the one you're going to review.
Yeah. Brass Song. I'll do a Rossy on this one. Brass Song. Part 11. Ian Edgerton, J. Colbert, Simon Boland. So I had to read the previous two installments to read this installment, and I still don't know what the fuck is going on. Just people standing around talking. The end.
Yeah. I've enjoyed watching the design on his chest be in all the panels, because I said that last week. It's going to be doing such an intricate thing. It's going to be a nightmare for you.
Oh, it is a nightmare, but you know what? He's being consistent.
Yeah.
And it's not like Red Dragon when he put the Red Dragon on Red Dragon's shirt, and even though the wrinkles and everything else, it still stays the same. This with the artist actually went in and put the effort in.
Yeah.
Yeah. J. Colbard's he's a really good draftsman. Look at all you know. This is the strip that Rossy would have loved, because on page 2, they're sitting at a table with tons of Poohtatoes.
Oh yeah, Poohtatoes. Yeah, poor Rossy's actually picking up Poohtatoes as we speak.
They've probably got little Santa hats on them because it's Christmas.
Yeah, he'd bring them into the office on a tray and say, "Look, I picked them all up." Oh dear.
You know what's funny on the last page?
Yeah.
That third panel of the bear.
Oh yeah.
If you just glance at it, you think he's holding. If you just take a glance at it first, you think he's holding up her legs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good grief. Yeah, I mean, same old, same old. I didn't really care for it, but I do like the artwork.
Yeah. Yeah, same with me. It's not my type of story. Won't go over the whole all what I believe that I mention all the time, but the artwork's very nice.
Okay, last but not least, Red Dragon by Rob Williams, Steve Yowell, Patrick Goddard, Dylan Teague, and Simon Boland.
Right. The large woman on fire, Angrad, argues with Di while they both burn. Martin tells her that Morgan was killed by Di along with his friend. This sets her off and she throws a fire blast at Di. Oh, I think Colin's just turned up.
Yeah, I think at the end of this one, I'm like, what was the whole point? Why does this exist?
Right, I'm back now. Right, I'll just continue that bit. Martin tells that Morgan was killed by Di along with his friend. This sets her off and she throws a fire blast at Di. Meanwhile, in colour, the doc tells Shadwell that the Yanks couldn't allow the superheroes to breed, so they've killed David and McDowell and Jenny already. And as the doc leaves Shadwell for good, he tells her that he might die from the virus, which has somehow stopped his powers. Back to the black and white fight. Black and white fight. And Angrad has blasted Di, who was well dropped but still alive. She tells Martin to hand over his tape and that he should do as she says about his documentary, i.e. stop it. Much later, Dee rings Martin up and the conversation gets to how many people were born from Shadwell's messing about who have superpowers, but Martin just wants to be left alone. End of book. What was that, book one? Or the end?
I hope it's not. There's no more books, because after reading this, I'm like, so the whole point of this strip was pointless.
Yeah.
There was no reason for it. There was no reason for it to exist.
Yes, it was a non-strip.
Yeah, and it's a shame because this is probably Steve Yowell's best artwork I've seen from him in a long time.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole tale, but you're exactly right. There's a nothing at the end because it's basically you don't publish anything or you'll disappear, we're the all-powerful, all that sort of stuff, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to read Zenith or brush up on Zenith or anything like that to read the story. It didn't add anything to Zenith at all. So that's my thing about it, which is kind of sad. But then again, it's Rob Williams, so it's like, good grief, Rossy's right all along.
Yes, you can have these excellent build-ups, but you need to have the payoff. Exactly like I said with the film there that I watched. Anyone, I truly believe anyone can have a story in their head, but you need to have that perfect ending. And
you need a good, yeah. There's nothing worse than watching a whole season of a show, and it ends in such a bad way that you're like, oh my god, I spent a year watching this crap.
Yeah, or seasons watching The Lost or The Walking Dead when they just don't know what. Once they've got too much, they don't know what they're doing. You know, but yeah, where. I mean, that final page with him in the office and it's all in shade with the darkness. That was fantastic, that imagery. But yeah,
the artwork throughout has been amazing. That's what I said. I think Steve Yowell's artwork as well has been the best I've seen from him in a long time, and Patrick Goddard always does a great job. And
Patrick's actually selling his. I think he's got the last few pages up now online from this to be sold. But yeah, visually it's really good. Lovely fire effects again, which is interesting that we've got two sort of fire things in the prog. But yeah, it was a cop-out ending for me. So there you go.
So what was your best story, if there was one?
Well, I'll say.
Are you gonna pick Rogue Trooper because he gave you a laugh?
I can't even do that for a laugh. I'm gonna go for Red Dragon, even though it copped out purely for the art. Even though I enjoyed the art in all the other strips, even with the mistakes in Rogue Trooper, because it was easy to follow in Rogue Trooper. But Red Dragon for me. It was nice to have a double length ending to it as well, which obviously I feel as though Tharg it's not really doing his editing properly anymore because we're all over the place with strips in the prog lengths. Like the other week, there was no adverts. So we had 7 pages here, 6 pages there, and then you've no letter pages anymore. I'm sure we'll get one for Christmas, but I can't remember the last letters page. But yeah, I feel as though it's not hitting the peaks that it used to for many, many years. But there you have it, Red Dragon for me.
Yeah, I'll go along with you that the artwork in the prog has been fantastic for every story, but I'm gonna say that Nick Purcell's arts for Dread did it for me. So I'm gonna pick the Dread strip, not because of the script, but because of the artwork. So
yeah,
it's Nick for Messengers, Judge Dredd for me. All right. Oh, anything to say before we hit the road?
No, just enjoy yourselves, people. I might even take a picture of my Christmas table of food, which Carolyn's told me off for because it's absolutely fucking ridiculous now. honestly, it's about 3 foot high. It is in one part.
It's like fucking Mount Everest of Christmas tables.
It's ridiculous. It's a cupboard in the corner, but there's so much stuff on there. I laugh when I see it because we can't really start until Sam gets home, and he doesn't get home till the 20th, I think, or the 19th. Sorry, yeah, 19th. So that, and Cameron says, do not go and buy anything else. But I just wander around and I see things and I buy them, and then I come back and go, I've only put a couple of extra things on. She's like, what have I told you?
And the extra couple of things are for Sam.
But they're for us all to eat. There's like, I've got about 10 boxes of chocolates and biscuits.
That's the one thing that Cass said when you were over here, because when we were in the Shields place and you were looking for stuff for Sam, and Cass was like, every time you go out, you have to get something. He's already got enough.
I know. Well, I said the table, when I emptied the suitcases, and the dining room table was full of stuff we bought, because Carolyn kept saying, how are we going to get this back? And I'm going, we're allowed an extra 5 kilograms in each bag because we're going back first class sort of thing, or upper class, or whatever it was. And I'm like, we'll get back, don't worry. And that included clothes as well, big jackets, a jump, that sort of stuff, jeans, shirts, fucking load of t-shirts, sweets.
Didn't you go when you were over here? Didn't you go to a place where you got your rock and roll?
Yeah. I got
like here in Phoenix.
I got a pair of jeans, maybe a shirt, and Carolyn a top as well. But yeah, it's just fucking hilarious. Oh dear. I'll take that picture in a minute. I put on my page for a laugh, saying, "Hey, everybody, I hope you've got a table like this." You can't even see loads of stuff because it's behind so much stuff. I might have to alter it a bit. Oh my God.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget, pay your mortgages.
That's right. And if you can't afford all this food, well, look on my page and just wish you were me.
All right, that's it. I'll stop recording.